Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Tikiyaki TV. This is Jim Baki from the Tikiyaki Orchestra, and we're going to talk about Exotica today. I got a comment on the last video, someone asking if I had any recommended records, and I do, and it was something I actually wanted to do on the channel. Talk about some Exotica records that I like, ones that inspired me, stuff like that. Today's record is a very confusing. It's a very obscure release, but also very confusing because it's been retitled so many times, and there's almost no information that I could find on the internet about this artist. The artist is Alex Keack, and the record is For Surfers Only. At least that's the title I have. I believe this originally came out under the title Surfer's Paradise, and that's the one that I discovered way back when, but this is the vinyl version that I have for Surfers Only, but I'm going to call this Surfer's Paradise. That's the title that I've always known it as. So when searching the internet for Alex Keack, almost nothing came up. The only thing I found is obviously about this record. There's versions of it on YouTube and stuff like that. The one thing I did find was an ad for the China Trader, which was a tiki bar in Toluca Lake, kind of right across the street from where Bob's Big Boy is now. And I guess their claim to fame at the China Trader was that that's where the cast of Hawaiian Eye would go after their filmings and stuff like that, because it was right by one. I guess they filmed at Warner Brothers, maybe. I'm not really sure, but they would all go to the China Trader and have exotic cocktails. And I guess it was a really cool tiki bar back in the day. Very little info on that as well. But I found an ad, and the ad says, at the piano bar, Alec, A-L-E-C-K, Kayak, K-A-E-C-K, which is the wrong spelling, Hawaii's one-man trio. So, again, more confusion. Is he a trio? Is he one man? My guess is he was playing at the piano bar under his name, Alex Keack. Probably got like a residency or limited engagement or something like that, because he's from Hawaii. It means he wasn't playing here very often. But I haven't been able to really find any ads, old vintage Hawaii ads for Alex Keack. So this record, the instrumentation on this record is interesting. It was all the same instrumentation for every song. There's no songwriting credits. If you look at the record itself, even the, I'll try to get the ring light out of the way. The label's just a very generic white record, no songwriting credits, no date. My guess it's going to be somewhere between 1959 and 1962 or 3, based on the sound. I think they were capitalizing probably on the craze that Martin Denny started with Exotica and Quiet Village and all that. That's when everyone started to put out, well, we need an Exotica record. We need this kind of Hawaii lounge type of Exotica sound, because of Martin Denny. It kind of blew up in 1957 with Quiet Village. So I'm guessing this was capitalizing on that. Crown Records probably got a group to go around Alex Keack. I don't really know. There's no information on it. But this record, the instrumentation on this record goes as so. It's piano, vibraphone, percussion. I sound like there's 2 percussionists on here, because there's always congas and bongos going through, and sometimes guiro, and maybe a random other percussionist from here, and flute and bass, of course. So like stand-up bass, 2 percussion instruments, piano, vibraphone, flute. And the flute did the main melodies for most of the songs. It was usually flute taking the lead, and sometimes the vibraphone and piano would kind of play melodies around it. A really cool mix of Latin and Exotica. It's a really Latin-tinged Exotica record. Mostly pretty mellow, but some upbeat stuff. The track listing, Why Me, Wait and See, Come Away With Me Now, Magic Are the Islands, Haunted Love, Latino, which on the digital release, which I'll talk about later, it was called Waltz Latino, Polynesian Hayride, which is my favorite song on the record, Sunset Over Kona, Lovely, and finally, And Now She's Mine. So those are the songs. Standout track for me is Polynesian Hayride, but Why Me is a great song. The Waltz Latino is a very interesting song because if you don't really know the rhythm of it, it's a waltz rhythm, but it's the way the percussion plays it. It's really hard to tell where the one is until you finally catch it. It's very interesting. It always throws me off. It's one of those songs where, like, where's the one? Where's the one of the measure? So really interesting, but standard kind of, the record I have is mono. The digital releases that came out later were stereo. I don't know if there was a stereo version of Surfer's Paradise or for Surfers Only. I don't know if there was a stereo version originally. Mine is mono. But the crazy thing is, again, to add more mystique to this, it came out, it was released under so many titles. So originally, Surfer's Paradise, and that version I have for Surfers Only. I don't know why they changed the title. It's very interesting. But, it was always this cover with the girl with the surfboard, presumably in Hawaii. Could be Mexico, who knows? Because there's a Latin element to this. I don't know. But those are the vinyl versions. And then the digital version came out for a while under the name Surfing Around the World, and the artist was listed as Mike Adams and the Red Jackets. And I think it was a Crown Records like double digital release, because you had all these Mike Adams and the Red Jackets, kind of a sort of surf guitar, type of stuff. And then the last 10 songs were listed as Alex Keack, surfer, with song titles, but it was all one digital release. Now that's one. If you go and look for that, it'll just have a plain red Crown Records label, and that's it. But there is an album jacket for Mike Adams and the Red Jackets. Sorry, this gets confusing. Now, the most recent release and the best sounding of the remasters is called Hawaii Goes Latin, and it's listed as Alex Keack and the Hana Hombres. So it went from Alex Keack to, Mike Adams and the Red Jackets. Now it's Alex Keack and the Hana, Hana, Hombres, and the album is called Hawaii Goes Latin. If you just do a search on like Apple Music for Hawaii Goes Latin, you'll find it has a wahine on the cover, and it's kind of a modernized version, a cover version. But if any of you out there have any info about Alex Keack, and that's Alex, last name Keack here, drop it in the comments, send me an email. Again, I'm taking questions from people about, Tikiyaki 5-0, Tikiyaki Orchestra, records, anything, production, stuff like that. If you guys got a question, I'll try my best to answer it. Send your questions to tikiyakitv@gmail.com, and like and subscribe to this channel. So I want to grow the channel and talk more about Exotica and Tikiyaki and all kinds of music stuff like that. Again, Alex Keack for Surfers Only or Surfer's Paradise. And again, like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.